actually, what I'm going to
Okay.
do is I'm on my computer right now, and I'm about to start
Mhm.
recording it so I can actually get this Zoom meeting. Let me move my screen. I got my screen right in front of your forehead. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So,
All right.
hi.
Hi.
So it's
Finally.
like seriously, it's I'm gonna turn my volume up because I want to hear you just a little bit louder.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm learning this thing.
That's good.
I know I'm getting up there. You're probably just a soft speaker, but whatever.
Yeah, maybe so. I'll try to be a little bit stronger.
I can hear you.
Mhm.
I can hear you perfectly loud and clear.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna bring up some notes of mine
take a
just so
picture of
that.
this. This was totally not planned, right? So
Yeah, it's always good that way.
it is. We get off work here at while you're pulling your notes up. I'll just give you a heads up.
Okay.
We normally get off work here at Pohanka in Salisbury around 8 o'clock. Normally I'm already out the office, but I'm big here lately on going for the gold,
Yeah.
and sometimes when you want to win and you want to achieve certain things, you sacrifice, and it doesn't matter if you're red-eyed and tired or not. You do what you got to do and learn what you got to learn and talk with who you need to talk with, A, B, C, D, and all the above. And I was sitting here
Mhm.
thinking to
Mhm.
myself, I said, man, this is probably a good time um, to reach out to Shavon and have a
Yeah.
Zoom meeting, record it, so that later on this evening, when people are bored sitting in their house flicking through Facebook and everything, they're going to see that there's an uploaded video from YouTube from that crazy all day Ray and Shavon Sampson um, talking about talking about issues that matter. Right?
Yes, that's true.
Talking about issues that
Yeah.
matter. So, without further ado, how
Okay.
about we just kind of give everybody like a background, about just first of all what we're going to be talking about, how this came about, and I'll let you kick it off.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm really nervous, so
Okay.
I gotta.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm with Financial Education Services, and what we do is we repair people's credit. And our company, when you first sign up with us, we'll give you a detailed website to go on and a app, and then we get you to put in your credentials and everything. You know your private information. Oh, I gotta get my
There you go.
I gotta get my charger.
I'll
Hold
go
on
get your
just a
charge. I
second.
can wait. Go
Uh,
get your charge. We'll look at a blank chair.
okay.
We'll just stare right at the
Okay.
chair.
Okay.
It's all
Hold
good.
on just a second.
So
Okay.
while
Hmm.
Siobhan's away, for all those that'll be watching the replay on our Facebook Live, um, so it came about that Siobhan had, I think, messaged me on Facebook, and she was talking about, if I ever run into situations where customers possibly come in and they might have trouble credit or establishing credit, or mostly credit reparation and things of that nature that she'll be going into. The thing about it is that in the automobile business, you have a spectrum. You have a spectrum of people. You got people that are one end of the spectrum to the other. Um, you know, I think that I want to say that the score starts at 399. Like you can have a 399 credit score up to like a 900. I don't know the scale 100%, but I do know that most lenders and most creditors are looking for us to have certain scores in order to give us the type of rates and everything that we're looking for when we purchase an automobile. And when Siobhan had brought it to my attention, that she and her business could assist those customers that are learning how to rebuild their credit repair. I thought it a good idea. Hey, let's sit back, let's have a little coffee moment, a tea moment, whatever you want to call it, and just get a little down and dirty with the real realities of life, and what it really takes, and just give guys an understanding that it's not that hard
Right.
if you have someone that will lead you down the path. It's not that hard, right, Siobhan?
That's right. It's
It's
not
not
that
that
hard at
hard.
all.
It's not that hard at all. So I'm sorry.
That's
You go ahead
right.
and take it back now that you got your charger.
Yeah. Yes. So absolutely right. It's not that hard to really get your credit together. It's finding the perfect company that has the perfect products for you. With our company, we have a plethora of little products that we offer to our clients, and that's a protection plan, and that's like a savings benefit, and
Okay.
it also has like where you can go in and look at different ways to help you and understand budgeting, because once people get good credit, they really don't know how to utilize their credit for themselves, how they can boost their scores up and keep them
Hmm.
there. So within
That
that,
sounds like
you'll
me.
get that, and yeah. Yes. Yes. And then we have my care plan, and that's like for people that have identity theft,
Okay.
like for people that have, are skept or really like, I don't want my identity stolen. So once you have good credit, also you're you're immune to having, identity theft, because
So
that's
okay.
what people look for.
So can I back you up and ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
Okay. What do you consider what do you consider a score? What is a score that's meaningful, that's a fair score that someone should shoot for that's never had credit before? What kind of numbers should they be shooting for?
You should shoot for at least a 720. 720, that really gets you. If you do have like a 690, you are going to be able to get accepted for a home, and that's important. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you want to shoot for 720, and that gives lenders some space to say, okay, it's not low, it's high, and it's not low, and if it does drop down a few points, you're still in the high 60s, I mean, high 600s, and at the beginning of the 700s. So,
So if
mhm.
I'm like a 400, if I'm a 400 credit score, repossessions and things of that nature. I mean, because in this business, let's face it. I mean, whether your automobile purchase, maybe you have some home foreclosures or whatever. Maybe you just have a whole bunch of medical bills. Maybe it's whatever that adds up to help your
Yes.
credit to get destroyed. So if I'm sitting somewhere around a 435, um, what kind of message would you give me? Because I'm thinking now, man, I got to get my credit score up 300 points. Like, but
Yeah.
I need a car next week, or I need to get a home next year.
Hmm.
So what kind of encouragement or what kind of message do you give that person who needs something right away?
Hmm.
Like what does your company give at that point?
Yeah. So, when you first start with us and you get those dispute letters, and as soon as you send those dispute letters, we prefer you to do a priority mail, so that you'll know that they have the letters. And then once you get that slip saying that they got the letters, within 45 to 60 days, rest assured that our company will, we tell people that within 45 to 60, sometimes 90 days, you'll start seeing points go on your score, and
Hmm.
it like 50 points, 75 points even, because
Really?
they're gonna delete those negative items and um, all those inquiries off of your credit. So that's the first part. Yes.
So I'm gonna
Hmm.
I'm gonna I'm gonna actually give you accolades. I have to give you
Okay.
accolades on what you just said.
Okay.
I'm in the middle of purchasing a home. Just so happens that
Okay.
I'm in the middle of purchasing a home,
Hmm.
and I wanted a good rate. I wanted a
Okay.
good rate, and so they did what they called a rapid rescore for me.
Okay.
And you're absolutely right. The the realtor, the lending officer wanted me to provide some letters, right? And it was letters, you call them the dispute letters or whatever, towards certain
Hmm.
things to get taken off your credit bureau. And
Hmm.
he wanted a provision of that. He was like, hey Ray, here's what you need to do, and your score is here, and I guarantee you it's going to jump 50 points, right? It was legitimately what you just said. It's going to jump
Yes.
about 50 points by just removing not. It was actually only one thing I had to do. One letter.
Okay.
One letter.
Wow.
And I was just
That's
like, wow. I said, you mean to tell me that if I get to provide you this one letter, that
uh-huh.
my points are going to jump 50? I didn't believe it. I'm like, man, you're
Yeah.
talking trash, BS. I know I'm trying to buy this home. You're trying to get my hopes up, but you're absolutely right. One letter, and
Yes.
it was like a 50-point jump. And like
Yes.
I'm like on a settlement date for like the 29th of next month. And I'm like, what? So yeah.
Yeah.
So it only
Isn't it
takes,
phenomenal?
what is it, 50 to, you say up to 90 days?
Yeah, 45 up to 90 days. Yes, to see some points like that. Come on, your credit score. Yeah.
So
So
basically,
that's
if I
amazing.
made it this
Mhm.
far, if I made it this far without a car, I can wait 90 more days and get a car that I
Yes.
want with the rate that I want,
Exactly, because
right?
my thing is, you wait 10 years, in 10 years you got your credit value with your bad credit for at least 10 years. It doesn't take, 5 to 7 days to fix it. Give us a chance. People have to just be patient, and that's just, it's important so that you can go ahead and do it yourself, and yes, be able to
Do it
make
yourself.
purchases. Yeah, do it yourself. As far as you don't need a co-signer, you can get in there and sign your own papers. So,
Right, and that
yes,
gives you a
yeah,
sense of pride at that point.
right,
Like
yes.
right now I'm Superman, I'm He-Man. I'm like, well, I'm getting that house. I'm doing my thing. Can't nobody tell me no, because my credit score was terrible at one point. I mean, terrible. Like I didn't want.
Uh-huh.
I was
Mine too.
afraid for someone to ever run it. Like, don't look at it because you're gonna look at me sideways. But when you look up out that computer, right? so,
Yes. Uh-huh.
so so it's a big thing to me because it's personal and it's real life.
Okay.
When I grew
Yes.
up, and not taking your show away from you, not taking your minutes away,
That's okay.
but when I grew up as a young black man, we grew up in poverty. We didn't
Hmm.
grow up with the wisdom of the fact that credit is such an important thing to have.
Yeah.
And even right now,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
find that in a lot of people who have credit trouble, looking for the immediate gratification sometimes makes us make the decisions that will end up costing us when we get older in life, wishing that we would have, you know, been more responsible, with
Yes.
those credit decisions. And I was a victim of not being taught and not really
Yeah.
seeking out, to the protection of credit or the building of credit. Only now in
Yeah.
the 40s do it. So, someone
Yeah.
who's never heard about this, someone who doesn't know about dispute letters, someone
Hmm.
that doesn't even, think it's important, they're just looking for someone to co-sign so they can get a ride. I mean, what message do you have for
Yeah.
that person?
Yeah. So a lot of us are in that category. They didn't teach us this in school, and and then some our parents. It goes down to generations that they don't know this, and so um, it can be fixed, and get with a good person like myself that can help you and educate you on how to fix your credit. It doesn't take a bunch of money to do it. It's very affordable. Our company and some companies will scare you into thinking that it costs so much money to get your credit fixed, and they will hinder you in the long run. But yeah, it's doable. It's really doable. And some people don't understand, like, once you get those items taken off, you know, they have like secured credit cards that you would get, and secured credit cards are basically a amount that you can afford to put into the bank, and then you'll just be using your own money with that secured card,
Hmm.
and then you'll go ahead and make regular payments to make that'll be your own money. That's just showing the banks that you are able to pay, and you're are responsible enough to pay. So yeah.
And I guess it would also be giving the bank an idea that you're trying to do something. Like I started with Capital One. I
Okay.
started with a Capital One credit card, and I think I put like $300 on it. Right.
Okay.
And
Uh-huh.
and you're right. Honestly, it's funny because Capital One at one point, after I was making those payments, they raised my credit limit and everything with that one particular card. And I
Yeah.
noticed that to be a benefit also. Like, hey man, now suddenly they want to give you more money, and then
Right.
all these other credit cards started coming in the mail, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, so tempting,
Yeah,
right?
I did get a Kohl's card though.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. I needed Kohl's. I was like, man, they got my cologne there, so I did get Kohl's, the Kohl's
Right.
credit card. But Yeah.
Yeah.
So I,
Hmm.
it's really a shame, Siobhan.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
a
it
shame
is.
because there's so many people that are like me or like us. I'm not quite sure if your background was the same. That
Hmm.
they weren't taught. They weren't
Right.
taught the
Yep.
importance of what credit really is. Now, I'll tell you
Hmm.
from my perspective over here when people are making an automobile purchase. When I
Hmm.
first started selling cars, my whole object was, hey, sell a car, sell a car, sell a car. You know,
Hmm.
and I didn't care if the person didn't pay for the other car that they were not going to trade in or not. I was like, hey, you know what? I'm just worrying about the payment on this car. You know what? Sell a car, right? But
Yes.
now I'm more careful with when I'm working with someone. I want them to know the financial situation that they're putting themselves in. I want them to know
That's right.
how the decision that they make will affect
Hmm.
their credit. I want them to know
Yeah.
that how many times that you allow a lender to actually shoot your name over to get you approved on something, how that affects
Hmm.
your credit score. You know,
That's right.
hard hits versus soft hits. Um,
Hmm.
everybody doesn't want, they don't care. Everybody doesn't
Yeah.
care. How do you get that? How do you get someone to care?
Ugh, it's really hard. I mean, once they just understand that credit over money, you know, like that's the most important thing. Like you really have a good name with your with credit. Even when you go get your car insurance, they go on your credit score. It's all based on your credit score. If your credit score is high, then your insurance is going to be lower, you know? Things like that. We just really have to get into, you know, young people and then older people that just don't know understand these things. Yeah. Even with a credit card, they get a credit card limit of $500 just
Hmm.
because they got their credit fixed and they're offered this card. And it is does feel amazing to get it approved for $500, you know, after getting denied so many times.
Hmm.
But somebody has to let them know that, hey, you know, $500 of 30% is what? Okay, don't go over 30%, it's
Hmm.
really important. And then also, instead of utilizing your bank and debit card, utilize that card to leverage yourself, to leverage that credit so you can keep on going up.
Hmm.
Use that card instead of your debit card and then go ahead and pay that rate back off. And you can just keep on going. We just have to educate, you know?
And you just said you educated us right then, because when I first got my card, right,
Hmm.
and you said two things that were key thus far. The first thing you said
Hmm.
is that people who are establishing their credit, they don't know what to do once they start establishing the credit, right?
That's right. Hmm.
Tied along with those that are now getting that credit limit, whether it's secured or not, with a credit card, they don't know how to utilize the correct spending pattern in order to build their credit, which is, and you put the number out there, 30%,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
Because when I first got my card, bam, I spent it to the max. I didn't want to
Yeah.
I
That's
didn't care about
right.
the percentage. I'm like, man, I put my $299 in there, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
spend my $299, right?
That's right. Yeah.
They'll get their
Uh-huh.
$25 a month until it's paid off, right?
Yes.
But that was adverse effect. It was an adverse
Hmm.
effect, right? And,
Yep.
and tell us why that's an adverse effect.
It's just, you know, I don't know. That's just the way it is. That's the way that, you know, that we are just taught. Like, it's crazy. I just don't understand. I don't know,
Right,
I don't know.
right.
But it's just education,
Now,
period.
was your credit always good, or did you get involved with the company that you're with now, and then start establishing your credit?
So funny thing, I was a customer first. I was a customer for at least how long? I was a customer for a year and a half.
Hmm.
And within at least a year, I mean, it's just like, okay, wow, okay, 800 year, and although sometimes it went down a little bit, but because I was in, I have the website and everything, I was like, okay, so I'm reading because I was really, really excited about having that 800 score,
Hmm.
that just felt so amazing. And so I was like, I'm not gonna let this drop. So it's like watching, the the stock market, for me, just
Mhm.
because I was playing a thing with myself, like I feel empowered and great. So yeah,
That's
yeah,
all right. We like
so
stealing.
so yeah, like it wasn't always good. No, not at all. My credit, it was like 501, and when I first started, and it was terrible. But yeah, when I had called and asked some questions, and I'm always on the phone with these people just asking questions when I was a customer, and they
Mhm.
were like, we have where you can be an agent, you can work for us. And I thought she was joking,
Mhm.
and I was like, I don't know anything about telling people. She was like, well, you pretty much know a lot, you already said it. And so she just led me the way to, just plug people in and do exactly what I do. So
So how can
the
someone
thing,
reach out to you and get in contact with you? Like the name of the business and everything. What are they looking for in order to reach you?
okay, so they can go on my Facebook and DM me on Instagram, or my email is on there. So they can just get in contact with me. I think my phone number is on there, or you have the option to text me through Instagram. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so they just need to look up Shavon Sampson
Yeah, Shavon Sampson, Shavon Andrew Sampson, or Shavon um, JS on Instagram.
on
Yep.
Instagram. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
the name of your company?
Financial education
That sounds perfect.
services.
That's
Yep.
genius. Financial
Yeah.
education services, and we're looking up
Mm-hmm.
Shavon Sampson even on Facebook, Instagram, right? All right.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I'm gonna be posting our video. I'm gonna be posting our video on social media, and hopefully I'm
Yay.
gonna get it right and tell them financial educational services, financial educational services,
Educational service. Yep.
FES.
Financial FBS. Yes,
Yes.
FBS.
So well, I'm tripping. I appreciate you first and foremost taking the time because again, this was just a moment of a decision to sit back and see if you would do this Zoom meeting
Yeah.
with me just out the blue.
This is
Because people
big.
have to know. They have to know that
Yeah.
there's a Siobhan Sampsons out there. They have to know that there's
Oh,
people who have been in their situation, who had a 500 credit score, who now boasts an 800 credit score, and that it's not someone that's a million miles away sitting in another part of the world telling them, hey,
yeah.
I'm a guru at it, but it's someone local,
Right.
someone who's done it, someone who can
Yes.
show you, someone who's been through the steps, who really
Mm-hmm.
cares and had that joy and that emulation and feel of, hey man,
Yeah.
my credit score's at 800. What? I'm fired up and I want to fire somebody else up. Right?
Right.
So the best thing to know is when you know something and you know it's the greatest and you know it's the best, what are you supposed to do with
Mhm.
it? Share it.
Yeah, that's right.
Share
Yes.
it.
I
Right?
can't stop sharing. So
You got to
people will
share it.
really know. Yes, they will.
Absolutely. And apparently it's well worth the investment because I'm gonna tell you right now,
Yeah.
don't know what you invested to do it. Don't know what you invested to even work with the people or whatever, to become an agent or
Mhm.
whatever. But I can
Mhm.
say this, that's a 300-point credit jump.
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm happy with my 50 little points. You're talking about 300,
Yes.
right? I'm gonna tell you, you
Uh-huh.
can think so unplanned right here. I'm on a Zoom meeting right now with the young lady talking about financial educational services. May I call you back, please? All right, thanks. So, so I'm just fired up. We set it for a 30-minute window, which means we have about two
Okay.
more minutes left, and I
Okay.
just want to make sure that I got all that in there. I'm going to be sharing this on Facebook. We absolutely appreciate you, everyone that's
Awesome.
going to be watching along. I'm sure that
Yes.
Siobhan Sampson is going to be a household name for those who want to really have true credit repair.
Yes.
And
Yes.
anyone that I can encourage to utilize you, I will do that 100%.
Thank you so much. Thank
100%.
you.
And you
Yes.
make sure that
Yes.
nobody ever shops anywhere for their automobile unless they do it from their computer and go to www.pohankadirect.com.
And absolutely.
All right. You
Absolutely.
got an
Yes.
800, so I got a car for you.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's right. I'm
you
gonna
can
need
get,
a business card.
oh, well, it's just so funny. It just so happens, right? So I'm exchanging business cards with a young man who sells real estate. We're doing 25
Okay.
cards a piece. And he's gonna take 25 of mine, I'm gonna take 25 of his, and you can give me 25 of yours, and I'll give you 25 of mine,
Yeah,
and we will keep it rotating.
exactly. That's
All right.
amazing. Thank you so much, Ray.
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Okay. All
That's
right.
that's Shavon Sampson, guys.
All right. Bye.
Peace. Peace.
Peace.